Hi, it's Kelsey from Junk Journal Magic. I'm here today to show you a project share that I've made for Crafty Ruse Michelle Summer. She has a My Holiday themed challenge right now, and you will probably see this after she receives the package and opens it, so her contest may be over by then, but if it isn't, I will link the information or the link to the information in the description box below. But I made her a folio that's Christmas themed. It was a challenge for me to do this because I typically make nature stuff or Charlie Brown or cowgirl or Texas or cacti, or it's something I'm interested in, and nature's always one of my go-to themes. I don't normally do holiday stuff, and I'm not saying that to whine. I'm just saying for me to come up with something, I had to really think. So basically, I made a folio. It's three-sided. There's an extra envelope here. I'll show you all the sides as I open it. There are some cute little beads. I don't know if you can see those that far from the camera. I'll show you. And a little nameplate sort of thing that says Merry Christmas. I made this from packaging from a Kate Spade box. I can't remember who received the package. I was just like, I need that box, because you never know when you're going to need some silver or gold metallic cardstock to make something like that. And then I also made this little buckle thing. It's not actually a buckle, but I can't think of what to call it. And I wove the lace through it and attached it really well with Fabri-Tac. So that's just the silver component for what you're going to see inside. So I lucked out. I had some ribbon that matched the paper. I think I used 2 paper pads, but I'll get into all that when I do the process tutorial after this video, because I want to have it all in one thing where you can come in and make one of these folios if you want one, and you can do it with any theme. I made a cute little mitten because the shaker mitten I made sucked. So yuck, that's over there. I'm probably going in the trash. But this one, I took the mitten. I didn't like it set up like a shaker, so I glued some illustration from a children's book on here. I used a lot of that same illustration for other things, but I did pull from other pages in the book. I wanted the snow. I wanted it to look cold. I wanted it to seem like it was wintertime. We don't get that down here by Houston. But I stitched all around it, and I put the snow was heavy. That came from the page, either this page or the neighboring page. And then I left the back blank, so it could be a journaling card or used as some sort of tuck somewhere or something. But that was fun to make. And then I used some more of the illustration and some of these die-cut end of the season flowers. For me, this looks like Queen Anne's lace gone to seed. If it was in that seam back there, it'd probably be covered in snow. But it was fun to take it and put it on a belly band, or a tuck, or just a decorative thing to put on the side of a page. So that's that. This is the paper I chose for the background. It's dark, but when you're going over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house, you could be out there when the shadows are long or when the moon is out. So yeah, traveling by sleigh means it could take you a while to get home, and you're going to see different times of day. So that was my thought when I chose the papers, which when I chose the papers, it kind of locked me into blues and whites. So yay, I'm excited because you get the snow. I love the snow. So inside, I wanted to have the trees. So when you're going through the woods, you see the trees and the snow. These pockets mimic snow and the icy, lacy iciness of it. But this die is like almost impossible to use. I must have cut out 7 or 8 of these to get 3 full ones. And this one piece, I just used it for a tuck. It's a piece on one that you could actually get the little holes clean. Oh my gosh, I about lost my mind. And once I started, I'm like, I have to have those, because in my head, that was what was going to make this look like snow and ice-covered little shrubs and things. So there is another piece of paper back here behind these pockets. It's all one sheet. I kind of cut curvy around the top of the trees. I'm going to take this middle section out first. And then I layered it, so you still get more night sky above the night sky in the trees. And it all matches color-wise. And then there's this paper with silver snowflakes, and the moon is out. It's all sky. It's just a blank piece for writing if she wants to write or to use it for something else. But when I saw the moon, I'm like, oh, you might see the moon when you're going to Grandma's house. Here's another piece ready to be used for something else. This is basically a kit for making your own embellishments and decorating some pages in a journal. Here's a deer. This deer is jumping through the snow in an illustration from that children's book. I sewed it on this piece of Christmas paper that had the Lord's Prayer and some other things. So it could be covered in the back by gluing a piece of cardstock or paper on it, and then she could write on that. Or she could just gesso it or put some white paint on it if she wants to write. But I actually didn't embellish this. I would have covered these words up because this makes no sense. And I made some little embellishments she can use any old way she wants. But this is supposed to be pieces that she can put together herself quickly. She watched my Autumn Art Therapy video last week and commented about the things, that she really liked it and stuff. So I thought I'd give her some cute little things similar to what I made in that therapy session. But these are ornaments, as you can see. I put a die here that I had stamped. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And there's Santa and the reindeer, because deer are important in this. I wanted the deer popping up, looking out of pockets, because they'd be behind the snowdrifts and things, and they'd be watching you in the woods. They want to know what you're doing and that you're leaving them alone. So here's another piece of paper. It's the forest at night. I really like that. I thought, like I said, you're going to be out there at different times of day in that sleigh, going to Grandma's house and then going home. So that was fun to use. I thought it really helped with the whole concept. And there's the deer peeking out behind whatever's in that pocket. Oh, that is a paperclip. I'm sorry, that's a paperclip I made. I can't remember who had the tutorial, but it's something I will make again in the process tutorial for this particular project, because this trifold folio is very easy to make. It can become difficult if you want to do something with a die that doesn't work well and want to sew everything, because yeah, that's my problem. I need to find easier ways to do things. But yeah, this was a challenge and it was fun. I like to rise to the challenge, So there's the doe looking out. Oh, I didn't show you these. These are pockets I made from that same sparkly paper with the moon. And they're supposed to be where you could stack them on a page in a junk journal. So they're sewn. I didn't do any inking for much of anything other than this little deer paper clip, because I wanted to make sure the colors of that polka dot paper really matched with what I was doing. So here's some deer looking around, watching you. And then on this side, I took the cover of the paper pad. Most of the paper came from the moon. The sparkly moon may come from a different pad. I'll find out for the tutorial. But this was the cover. It was all these different examples of what was in the paper pad. So I just cut them out and left them blank on the back. And I gave them some kind of sheer flocked ribbon so they would look like it's snowing. I wanted that to be up at the top like it's snowing outside while whoever's in the sleigh going somewhere. And then this was a greeting card I took and cut it in half because I used the other piece in another way for this project. But it says, may the peace and joy of the season remain with you throughout the coming year. So there's a nice greeting for her and a place to write. And then this side I made a little pocket, and I used some more image from that children's book illustration. And it's mostly squirrels I gravitated toward after I used 1 or 2 colorful pages. And then I had this cute thing. It was in some stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect for this because there's some red. So I just tucked that little deer in there. It's blank on the back. She can use it for whatever she wants. But it's snowing. It's very cute to me. It may not be to you, but it's cute to me. I gotta get this down in there. There. And then I have a blank craft card tag. She can add stuff to that. Let's see. Is that down in there? Yep, it's down in there. And then I made a banner with a little bit of that same image from here. You get the same tone. So there's a lot of that in here, and it matches. Sewed that down, the banner down, and then that little rectangular window of outside. She can put that on a page for a tuck at the top. And then I took the rest of that image and I made another ornament. These things are ready to have things added to them to be embellished. They're ready to be embellished. Here is the other side. There's that piece I saved from one side here. And a little leaping rabbit. You'll see rabbits in the winter. They'll be out in the snow. Here is more of this paper. I just thought this would be good. You could use it as a tag and cover the back and write on it. Or you could use it as a short belly band. Or just decorate the side of a page with it. She could add more to this if she wants. I have these dies that I use to make old dead foliage for out in the woods when you're out there in the winter. And that just slides in there. And I can't find it right now. I put the extra paper clip I made somewhere, so there will be a paper clip here. And here's the other piece of that cover from the paper pad. It's got a lot of the silver in it. And there's a snowflake die that had the center cut out. When you cut out the snowflake, it's hollow inside. So then I cut out a piece of that children's book illustration with a little squirrel coming down a tree. And there he's in the snow. I thought that was really cute. And then I have this piece of illustration where it says back to sleep again, and I sewed around it because I sew. I didn't sew these other pieces. It just seemed like it detracted from the prettiness of them. I thought they were very pretty the way they were. And then I had this last little piece here that says Celestial Wonderland. That's the paper pad. All this snowy tree, night sky stuff came from, as far as I can tell. Like I said, there may have been another paper pad involved. And actually, this piece goes right in here. So there's even some snow up at the top outside. Ha ha ha. So you saw this side. So let me fold this. You saw that. So now we're going to the back. In the back, there's an oversized book page envelope that I made. And it's got some pine needles and stuff. So I went ahead and used it, even though a lot of that stuff wouldn't be out there in winter. But here's a little paper sack. And it's from Chili's. I didn't do anything to the back. She can glue that down to a page somewhere. But inside, so I have a lot of deer dies. I did put 2 little rabbits in here so she could play some more with a little rabbit jumping somewhere. But I mostly cut the deer out of this same paper. Did I use that inside? Yes, for the dead foliage. But this has that gold in it and that neutral beige tan. And I thought that would be nice with the blues and on that paper, this tone paper. You can still see it. It's a different shade of tan. But I wanted everything to be kind of shiny because out in the woods it would be shiny. So if it's got snow on it and deer out in the snow, it would have little snowflakes on them. There's the other rabbit. So there's a little herd for her to play with when she's playing with her things she can embellish. I had some black and brown that I was stamping things, and so I went ahead and thought, maybe these colors would be cool too. They are colorful. They are the right color. But these colors work really nicely, and this one's fun. He's just got little stars all over his body. So I really like that one. It's a booger to cut out with the die. It's very difficult. And there's one tiny little bit there that needs to come out. There, I got it. So these need to go back in their little bag, go back into hiding in the woods. But I love deer, so I spent a very long time collecting all sorts of deer that I could stamp and then cut out with the die, because I love to make nature journals. That works. And then this is the last of the stuff. I hope I wasn't out of view with the deer. I can't tell. I may have to refilm that and add it to the video. Basically, there's a little white paper bag, and in it I've added some tags from various parts of that paper pad cover and papers that I used. I usually glue them, fold them over, glue them down, and then cut things out so the backs are nice. This one has those little silver flecks. That's from the cover. There wasn't anything on the back, so was this one. But that goes really well with the ribbon. I have two little banner tags. She can embellish them with something like one of these little clusters I made her. It's not exactly like the autumn ones because the colors are different, but it's the same concept. I just made 3 little clusters. And she can add them wherever she likes. Here's another little banner piece. And then I made 2 little vignette cameos from the children's book illustrations. You see the buildings, the houses, and the snow and the falling snow. Love that. So I'm hoping she is excited about those. She can play with them, and there's a little piece of pine needles here. She can glue these anywhere she likes and shake things up by adding other things she has that appeal to her with the same theme. Then, inside the envelope, here's a piece of that card that I off-cut from that one. I made the little pocket for inside that tag. Well, it would have been down here on this side, or maybe it was the one on this side up at the top. But that could be cute. You could cut a divot out and make a little pocket and add another pocket somewhere. This is basically a writing card, a journaling card. It has a little bit of a quote from Deuteronomy. But I love those birds and the snow and the pine trees. And here's a card. I bought a box of these ages ago. They're just blank note cards, but they are Christmas cards. So I had to send her one of these. It's got some gold flecks. And this was from a box of Christmas cards. I'm not sure what's up. That might be up there. But I cut it out. The back was blank. So that's just a journaling card. And that's it. That's what I've done. When I find that other paper clip, I'll make sure to, you'll see it in her video when she opens the package, but I'll make sure to tell you about that type of paper clip and give you the link to the tutorial for that. I have a short tutorial for it. So this is it. I'm going to make another one that's going to be red and green and beige. If you're curious, it will be for the tutorial, the process video. And this is going to be in the mail tomorrow to Michelle. I hope she likes it. See you later. Hi, it's Kelsey again. I'm back to make this trifold folder, a portfolio. And what we're going to do is use the scoreboard. So what we're going to do is score it. I made one without scoring. If you don't have a scoreboard, that's the way my brain works. Scoreboard always comes like later as an afterthought. But the scoreboard makes this very simple. Okay, so I have both of my pieces of paper here. I decided to make me another blue one aside from the Holly Jolly Christmas one. Okay, so you take your two pieces of paper. The one for the outside goes on the back, pretty side down. And then we put the one on the inside, paper side, blank side down against the blank side of the other page. Okay, so that you make a sandwich with basically the pretty stuff on the outside. And then you're going to get your bone folder. So, okay, we want to score at 4 5/8. That's 4 1/2 plus another little notch. I'm going to score, and I'm hoping this, I'm hoping this goes through all the way and scores the piece underneath. If not, that's okay. I can go back and score it again. It's not going to take that much effort. So the second score goes at 9 1/2. I got to be slow and steady or I get off the groove, which is not good. I don't know why. I always seem to have a problem with that. And it could be that I've got two pieces of paper here together. Let me try it. Just one piece. Okay, there it's in. I'm at 9 1/2. Yes. Don't do double thickness if you're having issues. One piece of paper at a time is fine. I'm going to go back through this one just because I can. And if you're like me, you're gung-ho crazy and you press too hard and poke a big nice hole or a slice through your paper, don't do that. Be a little more gentle. So 9 1/2. Here we go. It's working. It's working. And even now I've saved a ton of time going back and scoring the second piece a second time because you could barely see that score. I'm going to do that again just in case. Okay, so we've got both of those. Now, there's a giant pile on my floor. It's scary. Am I still in view? Okay, what I'm going to do now, of course, you know, everything's folded. Everything's folded. It's so simple like this. And I could go back and use my fancy bone folder and just do this. Why not? There. That's the outside. It's folding correctly. So the inside will fold this way, but before I do that, I want to take this and just kind of faux fussy cut around the pretty tree tops. And once I get around the pretty tree tops here, I'm just going to go and show you how to place this, which you probably saw before. No, because I'm taking the other version of folding this without a scoreboard and placing it at the end. So you won't have seen that before you've seen me do this. This really doesn't take much time. If you're using thicker card, you might find it easier to cut because it's stiffer and doesn't bend and wiggle like this. But hey, we can do it this way. This is just fun. I have a little snag there I want to straighten out. Okay, so now we have the sky and then the tree line. And all we do here is we fold each of these along that fold. It's very simple. And if I wasn't so stubborn in the middle of a project and refusing to go get the scoreboard, my life might be easier all the time. But it's probably never going to happen. I'm one of those people that learns the hard way. Okay, so now we have just what we want right there. And we're going to get, I didn't get it yet, we're going to get the cutter. You're going to put it, I put mine right under this wire because I'm using one with a little wire. And I'm going to just shave a hair off. There's one. And then I'm going to go on this side and shave another hair off. And if there's any way I could do this faster, I would be, because I just don't have time for all this. But, you know, you do have to be a little careful. So there's that. Now I'm going to do the same on the upper part. I'm just going to bend it and slice off a hair. And if this is barely off when I get them glued together, I can shave it down with my scissors. Just go cut real quickly along that edge and clean it up. So there. Let's get rid of these little bits. Now, all I have to do now is glue everything where it goes. Here's my piece. I want the trees and the birds and this as much as possible, so everything will be glued. So I have to play with this and make sure everything is in place so that all this cutout area down here is covered. You don't want those little bits to show, like these little nooks and things. You don't want that to show. So basically you go in and you just kind of place your pieces, your puzzle pieces, right in like this, and we're going to see how much of this we need to cut off. I'm going to work to where the top is shortened, not the bottom, because the trees are on the other side of this, and I want the trees to be there when I fold this. The pretty birds are there too. So I think I'm going to go down maybe 2 inches. I'll just say 2 inches, because my birds are on this side right there, and the birds will still be there if I only take 2 inches off the top. So because I've made that decision, I'm going to set these aside. I'm just going to cut off 2 inches. There's that. Nice piece. Goodbye. Goodbye, cutter. Now, the background goes on first, and each piece, because we cut slivers off at the folds, each back piece will show white. You want to take, oh, and before we glue it, we'll put those thumb notch divots up at the top. But you want your white to show at the joint, at this hinge. So I'm going to take my background pieces very quickly. And I'm pretty adamant about getting my stuff centered. It drives me crazy. It really, really does. I'm sure it will drive you crazy before this is over. But hopefully this one little part right here is the worst of it. So now I have everything, because I'm not inking. I don't have to worry about what's going on behind this, on the piece behind this colored piece of paper. The white works perfectly with the night sky and trees. So basically, I'm going to get, wait. What am I thinking? Is it this? I can't, which one's bigger? This one. We've got to make sure that they all line up pretty well, considering. Now see, that looks different to me. What's up with that? Maybe, which one's narrower? Oh no, I've gotten mixed up. Okay, this one's narrower. The middle section, this panel is the widest. There. Okay, I think these are all going to be okay. Everything's going to be the right width to match up. So what I'm going to do is just glue these down. And because this is going to be very, very deep, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off right down here so I don't have as long a pocket. Those tend to be kind of awkward to fill. Things don't want to slide down into them. So if you just kind of cut it like that, let me get this slide over here. That art glitter glue grabs so well, so fast. I really like it. The wind is blowing like crazy today. We got that cold front. It's not that cold. I mean, it's cool. I could open the windows and not worry about the air conditioner turning on, even though it should be turned off on cold days. We just leave it on. It just doesn't turn on. We've got it set for certain temperatures. So, okay, I'm going ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and glue this panel. I'm going to sew too. Don't get me wrong, I sew everything, and I say that repeatedly. I do. I sew everything because first, it's great texture, and then I don't ever have to worry about anything popping up. Because I'm like OCD about that. I hope you can see this okay. Where's the bottom? Yeah. Okay, so let me keep going. This is the widest panel. So it could take a wider piece of paper. I think I'll leave this one open on the back in case I decide to put like a time card or something in there. You know, I watch people decorate them all the time, and I don't do it. And maybe I should. Maybe I should just break down and do it once. Live on the edge. Decorate a time card. But I need to have my little clusters first. I do love the clusters. I'm making another one of these in blue because I kept thinking, you know, I might need an extra one for various reasons I'm not going to mention, but I just might need one. Okay, there we go. I'm really liking that. I think this needs to scoot over just a smidge. There we go. It's a smidge over. And this way, when it bends, that joint there is clean, clear of paper so you don't have buckling. I know you've probably heard that or seen it before, but just in case someone's here who hasn't, there you go. So this one is very long and narrow. What I think I'm going to do is cut it off right about here. And the tag will only be that long. It will be narrow, but it will still be cool because we like cool things. We like them cool things to fit into little pockets. So there's that. Oh, that hinge is different. It's wider. Okay, let me see if I can get this up. Is it going to come up for me? Yeah, it'll come up. Not a problem. It looks terrible, but when I glue it back down, it won't matter. I just want this to be right over there. And this little bit of paper won't matter either. But that's good glue. This is really good glue. That paper bonds to other paper, like nice flat paper, really easily. That's why everybody loves it, because it just grabs and hangs on. Okay, now that I've done that on camera, let me show you that. It's just fine if I move that paper. Let me get that little piece out of there. And I've said this before on many, many videos. I don't worry about that little metal cap that fits on here. It's never worked for me, so I don't really care. I just use this black nozzle. It's just fine. And this glue, this little bottle, I've used it well over a year, and I've only refilled it once. So it won't matter. Okay, let me get all these little bits tacked back down. And if you get any out of the area you're trying to glue, you just wipe it off with your finger, and then you go back and put this right back down. I'm going to move it over just a smidgen, just a little smidgen, and see, that's better. It's more like centered in that gap, more centered. Okay, let me see. Okay, that's still not lined up right there. There. There we go. This wasn't supposed to take this long. But oh well. Maybe the scoreboard was the quick part. Okay. And this is another tall piece, and I have an idea for what I can put in there. Let me close my glue. Excuse me. Wow, that is some crazy wind. They said it was supposed to be up to 40 miles an hour today. That's still not hurricane force winds, but it's kind of fun. It's like a blustery day. some different weather, and it's sure not hotter than heck. So the thermostat is officially off the level of Hades. Thank goodness. I hope it lasts. Okay, so there's this piece. All I have to do now is sew it. You'll see that when I'm back playing with both of these folios. Okay, it's time to make 1 or 2 deer paper clips. I punched these out years ago, and I kept thinking, who did I see do this? She had a tutorial. I think it was Jessica Paper Terrace back when she was I'm a Cool Mom. It could have been 8 or 10 years ago. But it took me 45 minutes to find these in my room here. Oh my goodness. But I have a bunch of deers with antlers, so we're going to make some bucks. Bucks are cool. I don't see any little doe heads here. Well, okay, so our deer are going to be even nicer because Santa's deer have antlers. Those are the deer that fly the sleigh. So we'll just do this. I like the polka dots the best. They are my absolute favorite, but you know, I already had a doe with polka dots. Look, let's see. I've got this to match. I could do that one. I actually like the stripy stripes the most. That one didn't have as many. Plaid is my absolute favorite pattern. So, yeah, I'm nuts about plaid. It might give people headaches, but not me. I love it. So I'm going to make one this color. I think I like that one better. It's got those dark antlers. We'll use this one. And then I need one to go with the blue. I'll keep that one away. This one's all brown. It's very masculine. And that would go with the doe, but I don't have a doe in here. Does it really matter? I like the brown. Set it over here. Oh, I actually like that one better. Okay, I'm going to use this one. I think the tone just looks nicer with the blues. It's softer. Kind of cool. Not too... This one is warmer. This one's cooler. So, okay. I'll quit being silly. And let me find the envelope. Stick them back in there. And put them back where I found them. Where next time I need them, it will take me another 45 minutes to find them because I won't remember where they were. This has... Oh, wait a minute. There's a pocket back. Oh, there's the little doe heads. But there weren't any colored ones here. That's okay. Basically what whoever, which I think was Jessica, did with this craft was she took 4 or 5 of these and glued them together, stacked them, and had 1 or 2, 3 on the top and 2 on the bottom. I'll say that. So I will need just 1 or 2 more because these are so many thick here. Because I guess I got ready to really mass make them and didn't. So I only need a few of these. 1, 2 for that one. And 1, 2 for the other one. And it doesn't even matter that these stripes are on here. They'll be all covered up. So let's take both of those sets of things. I'll move all this out of the way. We've picked good colors. So the last step I need to do in decision making is finding paper clips. I have 3 paper clips here. I think I'm not going to use the green. I think the red one will be fine with the buck that's got red on him. And this other kind of gold one, which is a little funky. It'll be okay. It'll be all right with this deer. So, buck. So, yeah. Don't put all your paper clips in something that's difficult to dig in. You make a huge mess and get them all tangled. That's my handy dandy tip for today. So, what we're going to do is we're going to take and glue 2 deer dies. If you have a doe, use a doe. These guys have horns, antlers, not horns. And, yeah. At least I'm not like Gail Agostinelli, who says the antenna on insects are antlers. She's so funny. She just laughs and laughs about that. They're antlers. The butterflies have antlers. But, yeah, I'll probably goof up like that because, you know, if I'm tired, I've had Lyme's disease and meningitis. Sometimes I just don't recall things like I should. But that's okay. That's okay. I found after it was viral meningitis. The doctor told me if it had been bacterial, I would have been dead because they didn't find it for 5.5 weeks. They were busy treating me for a migraine, which I thought I had a migraine. And it was unlike any headache I had ever had before. And I kept asking questions and kept going back. And the nurse practitioner said, wait a minute, let's do an MRI with contrast. And lo and behold, I'm using Fabri-Tac, lo and behold, the radiologist said, she's got meningitis. Now, things cause meningitis after they set off. It's not, oh, you better make sure you put that paper clip in there. You're going to be like, Kelsey, you forgot the paper clip. The thing about meningitis is it isn't always caused by what they traditionally think. Sometimes you can have a viral infection. Anything viral can make it happen. What am I talking about? I can't talk and glue at the same time. No, but anything viral can cause you to have inflammation of the brain. Like shingles. You can get shingles in your head and there are no exterior symptoms. You just end up with, oh my gosh, I don't even know if you'd call that a headache. It was so awful. It was like someone had attached jumper cables to the back of my head and sat around the corner and laughed, shocking my head. It was the craziest thing. The absolutely craziest thing. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Oh, I was talking about recall. I've always had issues with memory stuff when I'm talking. I blame that on being born when Mercury was in retrograde. Sometimes my communication goes off on a tangent. So if you get geeky nerd facts while I do crafts, I'm sorry. Geeky nerd facts, they just come out of me. So anyway, I'm going to hold this for a second just to make sure it sticks really well right down there in the muzzle. I'm not going to ink this one because I'm probably keeping this folio. I might give it away. I have been thinking I should be giving some stuff away because, you know, I have nowhere to put it. And, you know, sales at Etsy have just tanked over the past year. So just giving some stuff away sure helps me free up my thinking space. So anyway, I think there is a little blob of glue right down in here I do not like. So I'm going to poke at it a second while I pinch this muzzle together. That's pretty good. I think it's stuck. See back here? That paper has bent with that wet glue. I think it'll be fine. Okay, so this one is going to go over here on the side. And I'm going to, this little weight thing here is not that heavy, but what the heck, let's give it a shot. So now I'm going to glue the other two together. If you have anything where it affects your memory, I have gone in. I was having trouble remembering like the most common words that I would use. It was ridiculous. And I remember my friend, she's a retired nurse, and she used to say, Kelsey, I was really worried you'd talk to me, and you'd go, oh, you know that word, that word? She'd say, you were saying that so often, it was really scaring me. Well, I got past that, reading a novel a day. I said, I am not going to just sit back and let this take over my life. I'm going to attempt to put those words back in my short-term memory, at least for a little while, because it's short-term. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I can do that in a minute. Duh. Here I'm talking. So you just read a book a day. Short novels, they don't have to be super long. Just something you like. Because trust me, if you don't like it, you're not going to stick with reading. But I've been zooming through sci-fi romance. It's funny. It is, well, okay, not all of them are funny. But the ones I've been reading, oh, they're really funny. I don't mind dark. I'm just sick of all of it. I'm sick of the themes. It's, you know, I don't need horror and Stephen King. I don't need that. I've watched the movies. I mean, once you watch the movie, why would you want to read the book? Because I used to read books before I'd go see the movie, and the movie was so different, it would just really irritate me. So yeah, unless you're analyzing the difference between the movie and the book when it was written, that tells you a lot culturally. We did that in graduate school with anthropology, looking at the evolution of our culture here. We went back to the early novels in England and France. And if you ever want to torture yourself, go and read those. Yeah, I would rather read a more modern novel. But, you know, it's like a case study and a time capsule. You learn all about the culture in the past. So there, I think he's going to work just like that. I just need to pinch him together. And now I've bored you to tears with my nerdy facts. And we've got 2 paper clips. I don't know what else I'm going to put in this tutorial. I might make them separate little videos. I like to have it all together in case someone really wants to see everything, and then they don't have to go find the little tutorials. Bye!